Hi, I'm Rosemary Nonny Knight. I am the prosperity minister and business coach for ambitious spiritual people determined to thrive, to prosper, to make at least six figures whilst living in their purpose. I want to help you understand the underlying principles that create that allow you to manifest money so that you can live in your purpose, okay? To give you freedom, fulfillment. I believe very much that we each get to live a free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love-drenched life if we will claim it. The thing is, sometimes spiritual people, you don't always know exactly what to do to claim it. We have ideas, but you don't always know exactly what to do. So I want to make it quite clear because there's three things that we all need to handle, okay? There's the magic and miracle side of things. This is our connection to the divine, yeah? We want to make sure there's nothing between you and your source, whatever you call the divine, universe, higher power, infinite intelligence, whatever. There needs to be nothing between you and your source because that is your power. That is where the power comes from to create whatever it is that you want to create. There's the mindset side of things. In order for that power then to flow freely through you, and that power is love energy, okay? In order for that love energy to flow freely through you, there needs to be no weird and wonderful beliefs going on. And then there's the strategy. The strategy is just the practical stuff that actually needs to be done. We are divine beings having human experience. We need to do very practical things in order to manifest them. But we're going to look at in this particularly the internal side of things, okay? So the mindset and the magic side of things is what this 3-day series is about. It's supporting you in understanding what needs to happen to the foundations of your life in order for you to very swiftly and predictably manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest. So yes, I support people in making that 5 to 10K every single month whilst living in their purpose. But in order for me to do that, I could give you all the business strategies on the planet. But if you do not get this stuff that we're going to talk about in these 3 days sorted out, I can tell you all strategies till you die. Some of you all have been working your asses off forever, and it's not getting you anywhere. Why? Because there's all this other stuff that needs to be handled. We're going to start by singing our affirmation, which is I am worthy. I'm going to put it on the screen. I am worthy. This is one key area. If you don't feel worthy of prosperity, then again, you will find ways to sabotage yourself and you won't even know you're doing it. But we're going to start by singing this. So join me, affirm with me. So as we're singing this, or as I'm singing this, and you will get to know the tune as we go through it. But then there's also affirmations. Just say the affirmations with me. And I really want you to feel into that and be very present here. The idea of this is really to raise your vibration so that as I'm speaking, as I'm teaching, you're able to take what you need out of it. Let's connect to the divine as we affirm this stuff together, okay? I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of the best. Yes, I am. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of the best. Yes, I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I am so loved. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I am so loved. I am connected to the divine, and so I am worthy. I am one with the divine, and I am worthy. I am surrounded by love, and I am worthy. I now allow love to flow freely through every part of me, for I am worthy of every good thing. Right now, I choose to believe in myself and my inherent worth. Right now, I choose to allow you, divine, to minister life to me. I receive a deep sense of worth in my very core. I allow myself to be even more me, because who I am is worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of the best. Yes, I am. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of the best. Yes, I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I am so loved. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I am so loved. Okay, so that is our affirmation that we will sing over these 3 days. I am enough. I am worthy. I am so very loved. And you'll start to understand as we go through this process why this is so important. You actually get that you understand that you are incredibly worthy. As I said, if you don't feel worthy, you're going to find ways to sabotage yourself anyway. Also, if you don't feel loved, because love energy is what powers everything. If you do not feel loved, and I mean divinely loved, connected to the divine, as we'll talk about today, you'll start to understand better why that would get in the way of you creating the life that you want. Now, there are 3 stages that spiritual people tend to go through. There's the blissfully unaware stage. Okay. This is where people live completely in the physical reality. This can be, not always, but it can be religious people. It can be, yes, some spiritual people as well. Okay. You live in this blissfully unaware phase where it's all about the physical reality. This is where the human being ultimately goes through life feeling that life is happening to them. It is a very victim-y kind of phase. They feel like victims of forces beyond their control. If life is good, they're happy enough and they try very hard not to break it. Okay. They just feel it's luck. They don't want to jinx it. Or they feel like, they've been really good for their higher power. And so their higher power is blessing them. Now, if life is bad, they look for an external cause. They look for someone or something to blame. So either it's the foreigners and they're taking all the jobs, or it's the government is doing something, the president or the prime minister or whoever is doing something and is against this kind of people or something, basically. Or it's something. There's always something out there that is causing the issue. And then they find other people who believe exactly the same way that they do. And together they throw stones violently at whoever they think or whatever they think is causing their issues. Or they band together and worship their chosen deity, hoping that they will receive blessings if they please this unseen being that they are convinced is giving and taking things away from them. Okay, this is the blissfully unaware phase. It's a stage 1. Most people tend to stay in this stage forever. It can be, as I said, a blissfully happy stage if you're lucky or blessed, but it can also be absolutely horrible if you're unlucky or being punished for some wrongdoing that you did. Okay, or in some cases it might be that the forces of evil are always coming against you. Okay, and so you imagine yourself in some spiritual battle that you can only win with the help of your chosen deity and lots of spiritual warfare, prayer and fasting and all of this stuff. Nothing wrong with any of these things, except when you feel as if you really have no control. And you also live in this sense of duality because there's the devil and there's God, always at war with each other. And now, so as I said, the whole focus is on physical reality and they keep then recreating it because they're looking at all the things that they're worried about. They're, rehashing it, talking about it, worrying some more about it. And so whether they realize it or not, we're powerful beings, we're creating a reality. The focus is then being recreated and recreated and recreated. Okay. Now, at some point, some people wake up and go to stage 2. I call them the awakened. This is where they start, instead of living just completely in the physical reality, they're aware that they have a subconscious mind that seems to have some say over what goes on. They discover the power of the subconscious mind. Maybe they read the book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind, or they actually start listening to their spiritual teacher or their religious leader who's probably teaching and acting on the fact that, yeah, there's more to you than just reacting to the physical reality. So they start actually listening and they're awake. They're awake now. Most of you listening to me are going to be in stage 2. Or you might get sick, or there's some kind of death in the family and that wakes you up. It wakes you up because you suddenly realize how close you are to death yourself and realize maybe you've not done anything in your life and you don't want to be a victim anymore. So you then wake up and say you're going to do something. Or you start a business, which I like to tell my clients, business growth is extreme spiritual growth. So you start a business and it demands a heck of a lot from you. And you realize that you're a heck of a lot more powerful than you thought. Let's put it that way. So you realize that you are more powerful than just in stage 1 where you thought you were the victim of everything. You start to realize that you create your own reality. And so you start trying very hard to be better, to be perfect. Okay. You're careful with your words because you recognize that your words and your thoughts are creating your reality. So you're careful with your words and your thoughts. You're not pleasurable to be around because you want everybody else to be careful with their words and their thoughts as well. And you're trying to make them. You're especially at the beginning, you're quite fanatical about the fact that, you don't want to be around any negativity. And the truth of the matter is that you've probably come out of an environment full of people who are quite negative and you were one of them not so long ago. And now suddenly you're different and you think everybody should join you in the difference and they don't want to. And in fact, find you quite annoying and then you feel like the odd one out and all this stuff and all of that. Okay. And then you do also have some quick wins with, because if you're trying out the law of attraction and all of that stuff, or you try out praying and fasting in a certain way and you get certain results, and it feels, you realize, oh wow, I can actually change things with the power of my word, with the power of my thoughts and my prayers and or whatever. You want to take full authority over your life. So this is also why you start the business. You no longer want anybody else to tell you what you're worth. All of that, it feels quite exciting because you really feel like, oh my gosh, I've found the secret to life. It's also promising. And then it starts to slow down. Things start to get harder, and things stop working as easily as they did when you just woke up. And some people actually never get through to this excited part. So a lot of people, when they awaken, they become quite confused and life feels even more, oh my God, what's going on? Ultimately. So there's that phase too, where then they're continually healing and digging, which everybody ends up usually when you in stage 2, generally when things slow down, or you never got to that part of excitement anyway. And everybody ends up in this place where you suddenly realize, oh, there's so much mindset stuff that needs to be healed. There's childhood trauma that needs to be healed, and that must be the thing that is getting in my way. And so then you start trying to dig up everything that is wrong with you, and you're trying to heal everything, clear everything, sort everything out. You're trying to be perfect. You're trying to get it right, because now you know that you create your own reality. You know it now. If anything, stage 2 can be the hardest stage to be in, because you know you have power. And you've seen demonstrations of that power, but it stops working and you can't quite figure out why it has stopped working. And you're getting tireder and tireder because you're trying and trying and trying. And it's just not working. And you try healing everything and clearing everything, trying all kinds of different internal things. You try different strategies if you're in business. You try, and nothing seems to really, really move the needle. You also make things a heck of a lot more complicated than they need to be. You stop seeing the simple things. So instead of just raising your prices so that your business will grow, you look for the childhood trauma that caused you to have low pricing, and then you're trying to clear that before just raise your price. Everything is a lot more complicated than it looks. You get addicted to figuring out what is up with me. You don't want to spiritually bypass anything, but your version of not spiritually bypassing is now that you are so stuck in trying to be perfect all the time, except it's still not working. And you can't quite figure out why. As I said, it's quite a painful stage. Now, at this point, when this is happening to people, they either return to stage 1. Now, can I say that in stage 2, you might master the money side of things, or master the business growth side of things, or master the relationship side of things, but it may not be money, but it may be that some area of your life is really, really broken. And so usually what happens is that people either return to stage 1, where they're suddenly like, oh, I backslid, and it's because I ran away from the divine, that's why. And so now I'm going to give my life back to the Lord. And now then, that's what the problem was. And so now, and so they're back into stage 1, where it becomes really all the divine's fault. So if things don't go according to plan, it's because the divine is taking something away, and the divine doesn't want you to have that. That's why. God doesn't want me to do it. It's not God's will. And so it becomes all about, anything bad that happens in your life, it's God's will. So it's all about, that's stage 1. But then some break through to stage 3. This is where you become the practical mystic, is what I call you, the practical mystic. You are connected to the divine. This is where you start living from the superconscious, rather than the subconscious, rather than the physical reality. Stage 1, physical reality. Stage 2, subconscious. You're trying to manipulate yourself, manipulate your mind, trying to make it work. It has its way, it has its place. But stage 3 is where you're operating from the superconscious. You are connected and staying connected to the divine. You recognize that you are co-creator with the divine. It's also a stage of great surrender, which is a scary term for many, because I know when I used to hear the word surrender, it used to mean that you're supposed to give everything away to the divine, and the divine could send you anywhere and make you do anything. And I didn't like the sound of that. But actually, surrender is surrendering completely to who you are actually meant to be. Full acceptance of self. So you're no longer trying so hard to be perfect, because you realize that you do not need to be perfect in order to manifest the things that you want. You are loved exactly the way that you are. You even start loving yourself exactly the way that you are. Your dark sides, your light sides, all of it. You make peace with all that you are, and you love yourself completely, and therefore you allow the divine to love you. The thing about being in stage 2 and stage 1 is that you didn't feel all that worthy. Stage 2, there's a part of you that felt like you just need to do it all on your own. basically. And so you separated yourself from the divine because there was still stuff that you did not handle about your connection to the divine. Okay, but in stage 3, you recognize you don't need to be perfect. And actually, the divine is your secret source. The divine makes imperfectness perfect, if that makes any sense. It becomes clearer as you draw closer to the divine. You stop hiding parts of yourself from the divine because you start accepting all of yourself. You allow yourself to want what you want, okay? You set your inner child free. You realize you do not need to be perfect and that you are loved exactly the way that you are worthy, that you are enough and have always been, that you are one with the divine and you're enough. And you're okay to create whatever you want to create without being perfect. You can still create things without always thinking perfectly, always saying the words perfectly. I'm not saying that we go out of our way to speak negativity over our own lives. No, but you're not so regimented anymore because you recognize just how loved you are. You surrender completely to your actual desires. And you keep taking the next obvious step towards it. And yeah, you feel some inner tension. So just because you're in stage 3 and you're a practical mystic doesn't mean that you never feel that emotional tension of expansion. You feel it, but you're no longer scared by it. You're no longer reacting to it, which is what was happening in stage 2 and probably stage 1. But in stage 2, you're definitely always reacting to the anxiety and the fear, and then you're taking action based on that instead of based on your vision. But in stage 3, you start to get quite comfortable with expansion. You get comfortable with just living life and creating the life that you want. Okay? You start having fun in life again. You realize that your truest purpose is actually to enjoy being here on planet Earth, not to be perfect and not to prepare for the next life, which definitely stage 1 is so much about, maybe the divine just wants us to learn lessons in this life, and then when we die and go to the next life, that's when we'll enjoy and rejoice or just sing praises forever or something, basically. Whereas in stage 3, you start to realize that, you know what, you get to live now. Life in all its fullness is available to you now. Yes, you're a flawed human being, but so freaking what? You are loved exactly the way that you are right now. You realize you can create whatever you want to support the enjoyment of your current existence. And why would you not? Because there is abundance available to all. So why would you even hold back from creating whatever you want? So when I call us deliberate millionaires, you're not worried about being a millionaire because, oh my God, that could take money away from anybody else. You don't think that way because you recognize that there's so much available to everybody. There's so much available to everybody. So why do you need to hold back? Basically, if the divine knows no lack, why do you need to know lack? And it's a deeper kind of blissfulness than stage 1, though it may look quite similar because you do work hard in stage 3. I'm not saying that you don't do anything, but I am saying you're coming from a different foundation. It's like when I invite people into Evolution, which is my baseline membership, it is to restore that foundation of confidence in the divine and in yourself. Because from that place, from that foundation, you can then start to create whatever you want rather than from a foundation of trying to get your needs met by the things that you're trying to create or the overgiving that a lot of people in this community are into and all that stuff, that you're coming from a really bad foundation. And so whatever you create from that foundation, either you can't create anything at all or what you create comes in and goes out again. But in stage 3, you've restored the right foundation. You know who you are. You know who you are in the divine, and you know the divine. You know you're loved exactly the way that you are. Love energy is flowing freely through you, so therefore you're able to create whatever you desire. That's stage 3. And that's the work, is to get to stage 3. That's the work. You know the divine to be your source, and you recognize that that's the only way that manifestation can actually work. Because any other way, and like stage 2 people and stage 1, you are trying to get your energy needs met, or your emotional needs and your love needs met by the people in your life or the job or the business. And the thing is, you are the one to give energy to the relationship, to the job, to the business. But if you are then trying to get energy from those things, it is inevitable that they will fall out of your life because you've taken the energy out of them. Now, when you are connected to the divine and allowing yourself to be loved and being filled with love energy all of the time, then you have an overflow to pour into the job, the business, relationship, which then means that it becomes more stable. You're building from the right foundation. Do you start to see that you need to be connected to source? Because that is what powers up every single thing that you want to create. But the problem for a lot is that your perception of the divine is flawed. Sometimes, unfortunately, particularly if you were brought up religious in some way, but even spiritual people, sometimes when people are looking into this law of attraction, you don't want to talk about the divine. You don't want to mention the word God because you have some really weird perceptions about the divine. But this is the thing. We're not created to do life alone. We're created to do life in connection to the divine. It is in connection to the divine that you have a limitless source of energy that can then be used to create whatever it is that you're trying to create. But if you have some kind of blockage between you and the divine because of the way you believe or what you think, or that you think you're some kind of victim of the divine or something, then that blocks off your ability to create what you want. So, and that's the foundational print. That's the foundational energy. That's where the energy comes from. That's your source. The divine is your source. And so if there's a blockage between you and the divine, and so you're stuck in stage 2, the chances are if you wouldn't be in stage 1 listening to me, because you just in stage 1, you're quite victim-y. You would just not be listening to me if you're in stage 1. The likelihood is that you're in stage 2 if you're listening to me right now. And so you do know you take responsibility for the creation of your own life. But if there's any kind of blockage between you and your source, whatever you call the divine, your higher power, your infinite intelligence, whatever you call your higher power, if there's any blockage between you and that, it will be impossible for you to create what you desire. As I say, when you're connected to the divine, you have a limitless source of energy. No matter how much you use to create your desires, you're immediately refilled. Okay? You're no longer looking to your job or your business or relationships to complete you, because you know who you are. You want the experience of all of this stuff. Of course, you're here on planet Earth to enjoy being here on planet Earth, but it's not what fulfills you. Okay? It's not what fulfills you anymore. It's now just what you enjoy. And that is why connection to the divine is quite critical if you are going to live a prosperous existence. So again, to experience the fullness of prosperity, you need connection to source. That's where your full power lies. You're always connected, of course. All of us are always connected now, but we get to very deliberately choose to acknowledge and live out of that connection, or to choose not to because of whatever beliefs we may have. So if you want to live, to do more than just survive, because if you're choosing not to acknowledge your connection to the divine, that means the love energy flowing through you, there will be some, because that's the only way it can exist. Nothing exists outside of the divine. So the divine is all that there is. Yeah. So nothing can exist outside of the divine. So everyone, regardless of what you acknowledge or did or don't acknowledge, is connected in some way. But for us to live the expansive, abundant life, we need free-flowing connection, free-flowing energy coming from our connection with the divine. So if you want to do more than just survive, you need to deepen and widen your connection to the divine. Okay? It's a practice that you get better at by practicing every single day. It's like building a relationship. For me, the divine and I are in relationship. We talk all the time. You know, particularly at the start, I had a set time where I still do actually, have a set time where I would have a conversation with the divine or write out what I felt the divine was saying to me. But then it carries on into the day where I'm continually speaking to the divine, and that is a practice. It's a building of a relationship when you start to realize that you're not alone doing this life thing. Okay, and for a lot of us in this community, you have felt alone. You're surrounded by people because you're that person that gives and everybody looks up to and blah blah blah. But in terms of getting your specific needs met, hardly anybody really gets you. And you can't completely trust the people in your life, which is not necessarily a good thing, and some of that does need to be healed. However, to cultivate this connection with the divine, it's a practice, ultimately. Sometimes spiritual people have a feeling that everything should just happen like that. It doesn't. It's because you take the time to develop your connection with the divine. And in order for you to do this, there are certain perceptions that you need to have. One, you need to believe that the divine does want you to prosper, that the divine is not withholding anything from you, that the divine is also not giving anything to you, that you, in fact, are the authority in your own life, that you are the one allowing or disallowing your prosperity. Okay? You need to know that the divine is not judging you. There's not some Santa Claus thing where he has a naughty and nice list deciding whether you did good this year or did bad this year and whether you deserve the goodies or don't deserve the goodies. No, the divine is not judging you. The divine is not judging what you want. The religion may have told you that the divine is to kind of keep you in control. The divine is not judging you. The divine flows unconditional love to you all of the time. And for some of you, that would be hard to hear because you talk about unconditional love, but you think it comes with conditions. If I do this, then the divine will love me. And this is what I was saying about stage 2 people, because you don't feel worthy, because you haven't done this so that the divine can love you, you hide parts of yourself from the divine, but you think it's the divine hiding the divine from you. But actually, it's you thinking this part of me is not worthy, so I need to hide this part of me. And so you're blocking yourself off whilst thinking that it's the divine doing it to you. Okay? Again, you are the authority in your own life. You have free will. You are the one allowing or disallowing your prosperity by allowing or disallowing yourself to feel and be loved. That's how you allow or disallow your prosperity, because if that flow of love is not flowing freely through you, you will find it very, very hard to create the life that you want. If you believe that you've done some kind of wrong thing and that you should be punished or judged because that's where you were brought up, and there's certain actions, there's certain consequences that you should be punished if you did this thing, then you will disallow yourself to experience love because you feel unworthy. It is love energy materialized that creates everything in the physical reality. So if you are disallowing love to flow through you for whatever reason, then you're disallowing your prosperity. Okay. Sometimes when I talk about these things with people, they ask me, yeah, but I'm manipulating the divine by trying to force the divine to give me what I want. The truth of the matter is no, because your relationship with the divine is very personal. And then that relationship with the divine gives you access to love energy. Love energy can be used anyhow you like. It is impersonal. It will flow through you as long as you allow it to. And then the seeds you plant within your heart, as in, what have you decided you would like to create? I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow. Today, and I was going to say there's 3 things I want you to remember for this 3-day series. Today is connect, tomorrow is focus, and the day after that is allow. Okay. So today we're looking at connecting and staying connected to the divine, because that's the foundation of everything. That's where the love flows through. And as you decide what it is that you want to create, it's like you plant a seed inside of you. And as that love is flowing through you, that love then energizes that seed, it gives it life, it grows. See, you can see your subconscious mind as a garden. So from the superconscious, which is, where it's like deep within your heart, where the divine lives, kind of, basically. Sometimes trying to explain these things in a way that our human brain can get around it, it's interesting. But anyway, so the superconscious, the subconscious is where you plant the seeds of your goals, your desires, and then the physical reality is where they're manifested. Okay. As love flows through you from the superconscious through the subconscious, where you planted those seeds, that is what causes the seeds within you to then manifest in the physical reality. If the love is blocked from the superconscious, then there's nothing to energize the seeds. Okay? So you are the one, in some ways, that is allowing the love to flow through and also planting the seeds, connecting and focusing in order to allow the manifestation of the things that you desire. Understand that everything is already available to you. It's already available in the unseen realm. It materializes in the physical when you focus on it and allow love energy to make you a vibrational match for it. Okay? As you stay connected to the divine, love then flows freely through you, energizing the seeds of every focus, which could be hurtful or helpful focuses. So where is your focus? Okay, so every focus in your heart, the love will flow through you, energizing the seeds of whatever you focused on. That seed will germinate. It will give birth in the physical to the physical version of whatever it is that you planted within yourself. So 2 forms of everything. The seed that you plant originally is unseen, but then it materializes as in the physical reality as love flows through it and causes it to be birthed. You can put it that way. So everything starts unseen, it's just the way everything starts in your imagination. Everything starts, and then you focus on it, it starts to materialize in the physical reality if you allow it, if you allow the flow of love energy and you focus. Ultimately, you manifest in your life however much or little you allow. The more loved you feel while being focused on some specific thing, the faster it will manifest in the physical. And again, remember, the divine is not judging what you want. The divine is loving you. The divine is loving you unconditionally. The divine is guiding you wherever it is that you would like to go. This is your life to create however you would like to create it. Really get that. You are the one directing the flow of love. Hence, you are the authority over what shows up in your life. So this is one way that I teach clients to build that relationship with the divine. It's first and foremost, quiet yourself down. So I would say, have like 20 to 30 minutes every day that is just you and the divine time. You and the divine, that's the time that you start to build a relationship with the divine. Maybe you already have some kind of spiritual ritual, whatever it is. If you come into evolution, I give you a ritual that you can start to use to develop that connection with the divine. But anyway, the 5 steps: quiet yourself down. So whether you use music, whether you use a candle, whether you look at an open flame, whether you just take deep breaths in until you feel quieter, or lie in bed, well, as long as you don't fall back to sleep. And I like to use affirmations when I'm just lying in bed and I'm saying to the divine, I love you and I feel you loving me. I love you and I feel you loving me. I love you, divine, and I feel you loving me. And that just kind of quiets me down and really connects me in with the divine. Especially when I just first wake up, I want to immediately feel that connection again. And then I come with intention, or for me, as I said, I'm generally walking through the day just holding conversation. Ultimately, really, thank God for these days, this day and age where everybody is walking around holding a conversation, so it looks as if you're on your phone, but I'm probably just talking to God. At least I look less like an idiot. But for you guys, I would suggest, if this is unfamiliar with you, where you have never cultivated a deep relationship with the divine, then please do. I think you will find that that intimacy, one, gives you a heck of a lot of confidence to show up and take whatever risks you need to take in your life, because you will know that you're always taken care of, that your needs and your desires are always met, and that you're always protected, because you will know it, because you've cultivated this loving relationship with the divine. Okay. So anyway, so you quiet yourself down, and then you come with intention. What is your intention? So I would say to you, if you guys are practicing this, let your intention be what part of what Rosemary said, and I would say, listen to everything I said again. What part of what Rosemary said do I need to pay attention to specifically? What part of it would help me out? Ask the divine. So that's you come with an intention. What would you like to know from the divine? And then use your imagination. Deploy your imagination is how I put it in the Manifest Miracle Money Bootcamp. Deploy your imagination, because your imagination is a superpower. So if I know for quite a big chunk of my life, even though I've been spiritual since forever, I didn't feel I could hear from the divine because I was quite left-brained. And so you'd have those right-brain people always saying, oh, you just know what you know, what you know. And I didn't know anything. And then I met a left-brain spiritual teacher, actually a Christian pastor, who explained how to hear from the divine in a very practical left-brain kind of way. And that really helped me, which is what I refined it. And this is my version of it. But you use your imagination to, what I do, again, get clients to do, is use your imagination to create a safe space in your imagination. So a safe room, or maybe you want to be on the beach. That's where you want to meet up with the divine. So somewhere that you will always go to meet up with the divine within your imagination. Decorate it, make it look however you would like it to look, make it look really cool, and then invite the divine in. Now you could also use your imagination to imagine, what would the divine look like to me? The divine is happy to house any imaginary figure you would like him to house. Him these days, I'm trying to use they them. I'm still practicing that, they them. I think it's quite a useful pronoun these days. It's neither masculine or feminine, because the divine is neither masculine or feminine, really. So they them fits. The divine will house or will come as however makes you feel comfortable. Okay. And then sit with the divine and ask your question, have a conversation. Coming to evolution, what I also do is I do these divine downloads. I sit with the divine and ask what he would like to say to the community, what they would like to say to the community. And I write it out and I send it out to my clients in evolution as a prompt to help them make their connection with the divine as well. That could also help you with connecting to the divine. So come into evolution. And then you ask your question, stay in that space of feeling connected, stay in that space in your imagination, allow the divine to speak to you, notice what the divine is saying back to you, and then write it all down. So those are the steps. If you would practice that, and you're going to judge it, you're going to wonder, am I just talking to myself? In some ways, you and the divine are one, okay? So are you talking to yourself? In some ways, yes, because there's everything is the divine, including you, okay? So you could say you're talking to yourself, but if you would suspend judgment for a bit and write down what you're perceiving, you will notice that it's not the way you normally speak. And then, or you can come again into evolution and you could share what you felt you heard from the divine, and I'll tell you whether I feel it was the divine or not. Especially when you're just getting this going, when you're just practicing, developing that relationship. Practice this. Quiet yourself down, come with intention, use your imagination, invite the divine in, write down, ask your questions, write down what you hear, and for the rest of the day, feel loved all of the time. Very deliberately, consciously feel that you are being loved all of the time, because you are. But now I want you to very deliberately realize it. Be aware that you're always surrounded by love. Speak to the divine through the day. I feel you loving me. I feel you loving me. So that's that for today, is what you need to practice. That is your thing for today. Connect. Connect. Remember the 3 things that we're going to be covering over this, and the 3 most important things for manifesting: connect, focus, allow. Connect, focus, allow. Connect, focus, allow. Today we've covered connect. You want to be deeply connected to your source, whatever name you give source, the source of all. Okay? Because that is your power. That is what powers up all your manifestations. So any beliefs, any weird ideas you have about the divine need to be cleared, because we want to get you into stage 3, where you feel very comfortable being loved by the divine. Even as I say that, it fills my heart with such glee. Because the divine is your secret source. We all, well, if you've ever read anything on law of attraction and manifesting, it's all about, raising your vibration and getting your feelings in the right place. And then people are trying in stage 2, you're trying so hard to get your feelings to the right place, and you're trying so hard to be at the right vibration or frequency or whatever it is. Or you're praying hard, trying. In stage 3, you realize you don't need to try so hard. You are loved exactly the way that you are. You just need to cultivate that knowing. Show willing, use your free will to cultivate and deepen a connection to the divine, because that powers up everything. So yeah, practice. And tomorrow we'll look at focus. Now, if any of y'all, if you would like to know how the Deliberate Millionaire Path to Peace and Plenty, my work, will support you in reaching your goals, then there's a link around the video somewhere. Now, I also want to strongly urge you to continue this 3-day journey with me, and come tomorrow. Let's talk about how to focus. Much amazing love. Go forth and prosper and practice connecting to the divine.